the squirrel will just destroy one after the next, and it will drive you nuts. Hello, beautiful subscribers. It's the second week of August here, southeastern Pennsylvania, zone 7A. And today we're gonna shoot a short yet fun video in what I call the Peach Grove. We're even gonna be taste testing 2 different peaches and testing the bricks level. There's 7 peach trees here in the Peach Grove. 4 of them are still holding peaches. We have the Crest Haven, we have the White Lady, and then back there we have a late summer yellow peach, kind of like a glow peach, and then a white flesh, white skin peach that I don't know what it is over there. We have already picked the Red Haven, and we've already picked the early summer peach, and the Alberta is too young to produce. But we want to get peach trees that ripen in succession so we don't have tons of fruit all at once. So if you're going to plant multiple peach trees, make sure you get different types. It makes no sense to plant 2 Red Havens when you could plant a Red Haven and a Crest Haven and an Alberta and spread your harvest out through the entire summer. Here is the Arctic White, and this is a white flesh peach, and I am really starting to love this tree because of the quality of the fruit. I mean, it's like grade A, no blemishes, no marks. It ripens fully around, large, colorful fruit. I think it's because the skin is a little thicker on the Arctic White. So I don't know if the insects or the diseases can't get through, but when you bite into this peach, you'll feel the skin is tougher and thicker than a normal peach. But boy, does it lead to some beautiful, high quality fruit. These would be grade A, the ones you would give away to people. I mean, just crazy good. All right, here's the Crest Haven. And like I mentioned in my other videos, this tree really impresses me. It handled the late frost and terrible spring excellent this year. And as you can see, it's loaded with fruit. Let's zoom in here. Take a look. This tree did significantly better than the Contender peach, which everyone says you should buy if you have late frost problems. But look at the quality of this fruit, and look how much fruit is on this Crest Haven. Now this is a young tree, has only been in the ground a few years, but it will produce bigger fruit as it gets older. It's not ready yet, and I like to tell by up on the stems, they're way too hard, but we'll come back in a couple weeks, maybe 2 weeks, and we'll taste test it. So I know it's not ready because you come out and you want to test up here, right where the stem is. And we're gonna wanna do this every couple days. Go find the fruit that has the most color and get up there and squeeze up by the stems. And that is going to tell you whether or not it's ready. And it's way too hard up here, so they're not close. But not all the peaches will be ready at the same time. So you constantly have to come out and check every couple days the ones that look like they're furthest along. I like to leave my peaches on the tree as long as possible, but I have a major squirrel problem, and you can see that this is what they do. They'll mark up a tiny little piece and then move on to the next, nibbling and destroying it. So if you have a squirrel problem like I do, you're going to have to pick them early and then let them ripen inside the house. You can see that's another one that's damaged by the squirrels. Here's another one damaged by the squirrels. And at some point, you just need to bite the bullet and bring them inside. So, although I love to leave the peaches on there as long as possible, sometimes you gotta bring them in earlier than normal. And as you can see, I have the trap set up, and I'm gonna try and catch as many as I can. I was catching them earlier this year, and if they drive me too nuts, then I'll bring out the pellet gun. But you can see that they will just nibble a little bit off of each one, destroying the fruit. Unlike the raccoon or the groundhog, who will take the entire piece of fruit and disappear with it, there'll be no bread trail. All right, so these are not ready. They're too hard, but squirrels are driving me nuts. So we're gonna pick a couple of these, and they will ripen inside the house. So after 2 or 3 days, they will be ripe in the house. That's what I mean by a grade A peach. That is just perfect. No blemishes, no growth defects, no insect marks. This white lady is the real deal. But anyways, put them inside. Wait 2 or 3 days and then give them away to people or eat them, because this is still too hard, but I can't let the squirrels get any more of my harvest. All right, this peach tree is probably the last one to ripen. It's white skin, white flesh, which makes it very rare. It's extremely productive. Look how many peaches are on this one branch. I mean, probably 50 on this branch. I love this tree so much, and I don't know the name of it, so I'm going to try and air layer it. You can see right here, air layering is a form of propagation, and I'm gonna try and clone this branch so we can keep this tree on the farm as long as possible. Peach trees only produce well for 15 years, or at least that's what the internet says. This tree's been in the ground for 13 years, so it's about time that I try and air layer it. Here's a close-up of another branch on this tree that I'm trying to air layer. It will be wonderful if I can get this to work. If not, I'm gonna have to take some cuttings next spring, and then I'm gonna have to graft them on to different rootstock, which shouldn't be that hard. I still would like one more peach tree that ripens early in July. So if you guys have any recommendations for me, that would be great. This tree is my earliest tree to ripen, and this is probably the last piece of fruit on it. This is mid to end of July. So I would love to get a tree that ripens early July. So if you have any recommendations, let me know. The problem with early ripening fruit trees is that tends to mean that they flower early, and I don't like trees that flower early because of the late frost, which is very hard to manage. Just awesome. So last year, we checked the Brix level of the fruit on this tree, and it was over 20. So white fleshed peaches will always have more sugar content. The Brix meter is just a way to test how much sugar is in the fruit, and this tree had the highest level of sugar. So we are going to test the white lady today, and in a few weeks we'll come back and test this white flesh peach. All right, so here's my Brix meter, and like I mentioned before, Brix is just a level of sugar that we can find in the fruit. So if we do a little test here, and this is very uncontrolled, we're gonna get some of this white lady peach juice, and we are gonna drop it down in the Brix meter. There we go. And then we hit measure, and it says 11.7, which is really low. So something seems to be off, because usually they're a lot higher than that. But like I said, the other white peach that I tested last year had a Brix level of 20, and the Flavor King Pluot had a Brix level of 22. But in general, a white peach is going to have more sugar than a yellow flesh peach. This last tree is also 13 years old, and it's like a glow late summer yellow flesh peach. It will have less sugar than a white flesh peach, but more complexity. So a lot of people will say that this is their favorite tree, best tasting peach. It'll be big peaches, and they're getting close, some of them actually, but in a few more weeks we'll taste test it. And these peaches tend to get bigger than the other peaches, I think because of how much longer they hang on the tree. So they have an extra 6 weeks compared to the other one, and they'll be the size of a softball. I thinned this peach significantly this year, and it's still not enough. As you can see, even some squirrel damage up there, but every 6 inches you want a peach, and as they get bigger, it's really easy to tell that you didn't do a good enough job. So don't be afraid to get in there and thin them even at this stage, because if you don't, the branches are gonna break, and then you're gonna lose all the peaches. Like this branch is buckling under the weight. So don't be afraid to get in there and take some off even at this stage. See, this is too many peaches too close together, and they won't ripen well if you leave all 3 of these on there. So we're gonna take the middle one out, even though I know that that's hard, and they will do much better now. You'll get 2 good peaches instead of 3 crappy ones. You're probably asking yourself, what are we gonna do with all these peaches? Well, we are going to can them, and we are going to dehydrate them. They're a little bit harder to dehydrate than a plum because we got to take the skin off, but they taste extremely well if we get a ripe peach dehydrated. So we'll be back maybe 2 weeks to show a whole canning episode. And look, squirrel damage. Obviously, you guys see the reflective ribbon that I have all over the place, but this is not for squirrels. This is for birds. They don't like the shiny reflectiveness or the noise. It bothers them. And honestly, it doesn't stop all the birds. But if you didn't have this reflective tape, you would be losing at least half the harvest to the birds on top of the squirrels. And next thing you know, there is no fruit. I've shown these before, but I know you guys like to see. This is a peach tree I planted this year, bought from the nursery this year. So this is what you can expect to look like on the first year. This tree has been in the ground now for 3 years. And this giant tree back here has been in the ground for 13 years. So if you could keep them healthy, keep them alive, that's what you can expect it to look like over time. I want to sum up today's video by saying that it's important to plant different types of peach trees so that we can have peaches throughout the entire summer. There's no reason to plant 2 of the same peach tree. And if you guys know of an early ripening peach tree, say the beginning of July, that would do good here in zone 7A, please let me know down in that comment section. And like always, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.